Hello, everyone. Welcome to Towards Political and Constitutional Education. And this is the first episode of the podcast that we are going to start from today. And the book that I have chosen to read is Jawaharlal Nehru's The Discovery of India. As you all know, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India and a prolific author as well, a very sharp politician, and most importantly, the father of the modern India. And the nation actually was lucky to have him instead of any other person as the first prime minister. Interestingly, many people don't know that this book was actually written by Jawaharlal Nehru during his prison time period, and the book is dedicated to his colleagues and co prisoners in the Ahmednagar Fort prison camp, where he stayed from 9th of August 1942 to 8th of March 1945. Now, there are different editions of this specific landmark classic. Penguin publication considers it as a modern classic. In the book, there are a total of almost 10 chapters, and these chapters deal with different phases of Indian history. While this book received its recognition at that time period as well, and later on, when Bharat was actually telecasted on national television based upon this book, the book gradually started getting eroded from the ideological and political space across India. And what has happened over a period of time is that Jawaharlal Nehru was initially he was in a sense reduced to this Children's Day and Sports Day and that kind of activities. And in the past 10 years or 12, 10, 14 years, I would say that Nehru has received a very severe blow, and there is constant attack on his vision, his ideas, etc. However, it is my deep belief, based upon my academic understanding, studied from Delhi University, I've studied from JNU. I also was lucky enough to get the UGC DARD fellowship. I had a teaching experience at Delhi University as well in one of the colleges. And since I was from political science and we had this specific papers like Indian government and politics, we also had Indian political thought and interpreting modern India. So we realized that Nehru is a dominant figure and Nehru is a leading figure. And even in the university circle, what has happened is that people have focused too much on idea of fragment. So you will have different scholars who belong to, let's say, Marxist school or subaltern school, and all respect to their good academic research work. But the Nehruvian project and the political necessity of the Nehruvian project, it was confined to a, it was confined very limited space in their writing, and essentially Nehru was attacked. So whether it is from the right side of the spectrum, or it is from the left side of the spectrum, or it is from the spectrum which considers the side of the spectrum which considers itself outside of any kind of ideological affiliation, whether it is the postmodernist thinking or even the subaltern thinking. For all these specific schools of thought, Jawaharlal Nehru was the person who should be attacked unintentionally and sometimes intentionally. So while we were reading and learning and trying to develop our understanding of political science and the method of politics in India, we also followed the same trend. And while we were studying at Delhi University, pursuing our graduation and masters, and at that time, we also were very eager to criticize Nehru, in a sense, attack also Nehru as well. And the entire conception of passive revolution or some other concept was brought into being, and people started taking Nehru very in a critical manner, and they considered Nehru as the reason behind lack of growth, etc. However, since 2014, when these criticism turned into violent attacks of a soft nature, and when historians like Aditya Mukherjee, when many journalists who lost their jobs, as well as academicians who started facing troubles from certain section of the structure of power, they started reverting back to Nehru. Similarly, in the popular culture, the idea of Nehru has popped up again. In the political culture, there is a ghost of Nehru, which is stopping India from growing even today. So, this is in a very brief sense, this is the political and social atmosphere in which we are living. The economic questions and the contradictions developed by movement of neoliberalism in India, they are not being answered. And in that scenario as well, people are again looking at Nehru. So, from where I can see, we are having a different kind of Nehruvian turn in politics, economics, and social sphere. And that is why I thought that perhaps we need to start again with the idea of India. And this idea of India is mentioned in multiple works. People have written a lot about it. Recently, Aditya Mukherjee released a book on Nehru's India. It was a wonderful event for that as well. Or let's say when people are writing, let's say Aloysius writing of nationalism without a nation in India, or Partha Chatterjee's nationalist thought in colonial world, or Manas Virag Bhattacharya is looking for the nation. So there are different books that deal with idea of India. Some deal with idea of India in a constitutional manner. So we have Madhav Khosla, Pratap Bhanu Mehta, or some deal with different kind of personalities who were born in India or who worked towards development of this idea of India, that is Sunil Khilnani. But instead of going straight to the secondary sources in that sense, I think it is a better strategy to start understanding about idea of India from Nehru's discovery of India. So for the next few episodes, I will be reading certain sections from this book, and this exercise that we are going to take, the first exercise of its own kind for me, we will not limit ourselves to Nehru only. We will have different discussions going on, different kind of conversation, and I would be welcoming the comments. And if any of you want to have some kind of, let's say, a Zoom kind of conference or Zoom meeting where we come and discuss the ideas together, so we can do that as well. There is no limit to it. But initially, the reading and hearing is, I think, one of the best strategies, because what India needs now is not just a revival of Nehru's idea of India, but also silence, also less conversation to some extent, less debates, more of a reflection, more of hearing, more of being in silence and listening to what the nation makers had to offer at that point of time and what remains relevant till today as well. So, this was the introductory note which I thought I would share with all of you. And very soon we will start with the chapters. But the first thing which I'm going to start with is the introduction to this specific discovery of India, which I have with me. And this introduction is written by Sunil Khilnani. He's a well known academician and scholar, a very popular scholar as well. So, we will first go through Sunil Khilnani's introduction to Jawaharlal Nehru's discovery of India. Looking forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.